Welcome to East Lansing, Michigan, Jennison Fieldhouse, home to the Michigan State women's gymnastics team, who today welcome in the number 14 Ohio State Buckeyes. It's women's gymnastics right here on the Big Ten Network. Hello, everybody. I'm Dean Linke. Delighted to be with my Illinois All-American, Alina Weinstein. She was also a Big Ten Medal of Honor winner, and who could forget this perfect 10? Now, for me, that never gets old, right?
Wow, we really dug that up from the archives, huh? but really, I mean, what an incredible feeling. That's what every gymnast works for, and I'll remember that feeling forever.
Hopefully we'll see a 10 today. Let's get right into it, though. Michigan State and Ohio State, what are you looking for?
Well, Michigan State, they really held their own last week against Michigan for 3 events. Walked into a little bit of trouble on that 4th event, but I think if they put all 4 events together today, we're going to see a pretty close match against Ohio State. Now, looking at Ohio State, I'm so excited about this team. Meredith Polisiewicz, she brings such great energy, and I think that they're just going to put all 4 events together, hit that 196, and continue to get better in the Big Ten.
Athletes to watch for the Buckeyes.
Now, I don't want to take the spotlight off of Jamie Stone. She won the all-around for the first time early on this season, and she went really big against last week and fell on bars. If she puts all 4 events together today, we're going to walk away from another all-around crown. Now, speaking of bars, Jenna Schwarzentraber, she went 9.85 last weekend against Penn State. She's going to be an important key to success on 3 events here if she puts it all together.
Meanwhile, for Michigan State, they have a couple superstars going for the all-around.
Ella Douglas, she was out last year from a knee injury. Glad to have her back this year. She's already been a rock for Michigan State. She's a Canadian superstar and an elite gymnast that brings a high caliber of experience to the team. And speaking of experience, Leah Mitchell named to the Big Ten Athlete to Watch list, along with Ella after a big freshman season. And she's an all-rounder looking to make a big impact on this team this year.
All right, let's take a look at the Big Ten standings early doors. 5 teams now in the top 25. Congrats to Penn State for cracking it. Meanwhile, Meredith Polisiewicz says she wants her team to be a top 12 program. She's pretty close at number 14, keeping that take-the-ball mentality going.
Well, we definitely saw that last week against Penn State. We had a couple falls really early on in the lineups, but teams bounce back. Everybody had their backs, and that's what it's all about, being aggressive with their gymnastics.
All right, she's in her 2nd season. Also in his 2nd season at Michigan State, back at his alma mater, Mike Rowe.
Well, talk about 2 coaches that have such great energy. I love watching him, especially through the bars lineup. Just the excitement that these coaches bring to their teams. You can see that with the athletes when they're competing.
All right, so Mike Rowe, he was, as you mentioned in the open, was pretty happy with hanging with Big Ten's best Michigan Wolverines through 3 rotations. Felt like they were hanging in there, and then that last rotation they had a couple falls. And of course, Michigan State will start on the vault. Ohio State will start on the bars as the team's still warming up here. The Buckeyes breaking out some new leotards. That's part of the show as well.
Definitely. I love seeing that bling. I was talking to Coach Polisiewicz before the meet. Look good, feel good. And I definitely think that translates. I was always excited about debuting a new leotard. So these look good.
All right, Roya Shirley, so good to see her back. We saw her last season right here on the Big Ten Network against Penn State. We were impressed with her athleticism. Then she got hurt, wasn't at the Big 5 or the championships. She's healthy again and back in the lineup.
Definitely excited about her. She's in a good leadoff spot here on vault for sure. Power athlete, explosive, big athlete to watch.
The huddle there for the Ohio State Buckeyes. As on the bars, it will be Amanda Wong, then Peyton Hinterberger, Colby Miller, Jamie Stone, Olivia Apley, and Jenna Schwarzentraber. And there is Roya Shirley. We just talked about her. It'll be Shirley, Wicker, Beatty, Douglas Mitchell, and Hoflick for Michigan State.
Run, starting off with a Yurchenko tuck full. And you can see why she's in this first leadoff position here. She brings a ton of energy. She's doing a great vault, gets really powerful height off the table. Great start.
Just that one step back. Her career high on the vault is a 9.825, season high 9.725. And talk about season highs. Amanda Wong had a 9.825 against NC State, just short of her career high of a 9.875. She's leading off for the Buckeyes on the bars.
And what a spot to be in as a senior. Already had a couple high scores under her belt this season. And I'm going to be looking for some nice handstands here, clean gymnastics, which we know she can deliver on. And already displaying some beautiful gymnastics very early on here. Just looking to finish up that last handstand. And gearing up for the dismount here. Beautiful. Couldn't quite hang on to that stick, but definitely a very clean routine. Exactly the type of routine that the Buckeyes want to start with here. And here's another look at that release. She's doing a straddle Jaeger, super sky high. Little look at that handwork into the dismount. Couldn't quite bend her knees and absorb that landing, but great start for Amanda.
Just a little minor step right there, as Meredith Polisivic thought her team did well on the bars. Just need to fix a couple details. We're still waiting on the score for Roya Shirley. A 9.75 is what we're being told, as that'll make way for Jenna Wicker. And Mike Rowe was very high on this freshman class, just as he was last year's freshman class. A young team, a lot of freshmen and sophomores will feature. This is Jenna Wicker from Allen, Texas.
And she competed for Woga Gymnastics, which is the same club that Nastya Liukin came out of. Beautiful stuck landing there. And she's doing a Yurchenko half. You'll notice that she's opening up with a blind landing, which is really difficult to hang on to. Really nice explosive height off of the table. Just a little bit of leg softness there on the landing there. Overall, great start.
She did hold her feet, though, I do believe. And you saw Roya Shirley there as well. Great to have Roya Shirley back with Michigan State. Amanda Wong at 9.775 in the leadoff for the Buckeyes. As now we make way for Peyton Hitterberger, the junior.
And I love Peyton's handstands. She's got really nice, clean lines. Missed it a little bit on that bail. But you can tell she's really focusing on making sure that everyone knows she's in a handstand right before that dismount. Of course, the smallest step there. And she's doing a full pirouette into a double back dismount. So getting the connection for that D skill immediately into the C.
So that's going to bring up Ashley Beatty, 9.75, her career high and season high. She's number 3 to go for Michigan State on the vault.
Another round-off entry here into a Yurchenko full. Just getting a really nice block off of the table, just piking down ever so slightly before that landing. So the judges will probably take a little bit for that body position in the air. And you can see it right there as she's piking down. And then it has to take that step backwards. And here she is, really nice block, just piking it down so slightly there.
Nice look from our BTN crew, the eyes wide open as she approached the vault. And as you said, that slight step, so we'll wait her score. And you talk about freshmen for Michigan State. You also need to start to think about the freshman for the Buckeyes, Colby Miller, who has had a 9.825 in back-to-back events for the Ohio State Buckeyes.
She's our junior Olympic national bar champion, so she is really good at bars. You can definitely see why. Look at those clean body positions in the air. Just finishing up for the dismount. Buckeyes can't quite hang on to these dismounts today. And there's that full pirouette, a little bit off of the handstand there. The judges will definitely take a deduction for that. And then, of course, there's that step there. We're working on minimizing those deductions, looking for those sticks.
So great to have Ella Douglas back on our BTN screen. She is a superstar, out last year with that knee injury and picking right up where she left off.
Here she goes. Yurchenko half. Again, we're looking at another blind landing. Much more difficult to land this vault versus seeing the ground when you're coming in for it. You can see that in the air here. Beautiful body position, just doesn't quite know exactly where the ground is and has to take that big step.
Her season high and career high, 9-8. And as we move over to Jamie Stone, you said it, just the Buckeyes a couple of steps, and interesting as we look at the scores, 9-7, 9-7, 9-8. Meredith Polisiewicz saying that the 9-8s are good, but they have 9-9 potential on the bars for the Buckeyes.
Exactly. She's excited about this team, especially since it is so young. Most of this team is made up of underclassmen, but she says that they have not arrived yet. And little deductions like this are really going to keep them from, ooh, that's a tough fall.
Well, we saw that fall during warm-ups, actually, and it's the exact same fall.
Just couldn't quite get her arms around the bar. She definitely had it there. If she just straightened out her arms, she would have had it. It's tough because as an all-arounder, you really want to put these mistakes behind you. And this event is definitely keeping her from another all-around crown like we saw a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, she had that 9.825 versus NC State. Stuck landing, so that will help.
Good recovery. Definitely not the routine that she was looking for.
All right, now we move back to another all-arounder, Leah Mitchell, 9.825.
There. You can notice the block that she gets off of the table has enough distance to be able to turn that thing around, see the ground. I'm excited about that vault. Here's another look at that block right off of the table. She sees exactly where it is, looking for that stick. Couldn't quite get it, but nothing major with that hop on the deduction.
I mentioned that 9.825. That's her career high. Let's see if she can top that when we get back to her. Now another all-arounder for the Ohio State Buckeyes, Olivia Apley, and she had, of course, a 9.95 on the bars last year at the Big Ten Championships.
She's an impressive bar worker. Definitely a really great spot for her to be in. And definitely a big responsibility to be going after her teammate right after a fall.
An 8.950 for Jamie, which will allow us to remind you that 6 up, 5 scores count. So this will be where that take the ball mentality that you were talking about earlier, Olivia Apley and then Jenna Schwarzenegger will need to pick up the slack.
Well, she's such a solid competitor. I doubt that a fall in the lineup is going to phase her. She's an all-rounder for a reason and with huge accolades. And just look at that routine. Beautiful stuck landing. Big Ten bar champion for a reason.
You saw that 10-0 sign being held up. Not sure if it's a 10-0, but a nice stuck landing here.
Another look at that dismount. She sees the ground, knows exactly where it is. Not a question in the judge's mind. Great routine.
All right, the anchor now for Michigan State. Another freshman for the Spartans, and it'll be Ashley Hoflick up for Michigan State.
Another Yurchenko fall. Couldn't quite get her chest up. Judges are definitely going to take some deductions for that landing there. She couldn't quite get enough distance and height off the table to turn it around. You can see her piking down, trying to see the landing, but just opening up a little bit too early on that.
There's Sparty as Ashley's with Oakland Gymnastics, not too far from Novi, Michigan. And the anchor for the Buckeyes, we can tell you, by the way, Leah Mitchell at a 9.825, and you put the spotlight on Jenna Schwartzentruber, and one of the reasons is this anchor spot on the bars.
Well, look at these handstands and these clean lines. This is what bars is all about. And you notice she's moving through this routine, making sure that she's holding it for at least a second here. Beautiful. Just gearing up for that dismount. Let's see if she can get a stick. Just the slightest hop there, but beautiful routine. Very clean, very, very powerful. Exactly what the Buckeyes needed to recover here. Here's another look at that double layout. Just pinged off the bar just a little bit. She held onto it a little bit longer. She probably would have had that stick.
So Jenna Schwartzentruber with Ohio connections in that anchor spot. We will see a couple exhibitions here, one for Michigan State and one for Ohio State. Elena Rabin expected to get an exhibition opportunity on vault, and Danica Abanto on the bars. So the word is Elena Rabin not going to do an exhibition on vault, but the Buckeyes are going to get a chance to get another athlete in there as Danica Abanto. By the way, Schwartzentruber with a 9.9, tying her career high. Once again, Alina Weinstein picks him out, and she delivers with a 9.9, tying her career high.
Great recovery for this lineup. Definitely putting the take-the-ball mentality motion into play here. And Danica, what a strong competitor, too, in this exhibition spot. You know, after some of the trouble that we've seen with Jamie, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw her in the lineup next weekend. She's doing a beautiful routine here. Just finishing up with the dismount, full pirouette, double back. Nice job. A couple of mistakes here and there with handstands, but I think that's a really solid routine.
When we come back, they'll do the switch. It'll be the Buckeyes on the vault, Michigan State on the bars. Big Ten women's gymnastics rolling on the Big Ten Network. On BTN is brought to you by State Farm. Here to help life go right. Talk to a State Farm agent today. Delighted to be in Jennison Fieldhouse. Of course, who could forget this was the old stomping grounds of the great Michigan State basketball teams, Judd Heathcote and the gang. And tonight, be sure to join Dave Remsen, Mike DeCourcy, and Stephen Bardo. They'll discuss the hottest topics in college hoops and examine the conference's place in the national picture. Big Ten basketball and beyond, presented by Motorist Insurance Group, tonight at 8 Eastern right here on BTN. All right, time to take a look at the numbers here. Alina Weinstein, Michigan State with a 48.8, led in that fifth spot by Leah Mitchell with a 9.825.
So close to that 49 mark, and of course that's the goal here early on in the season, trying to get that 49 on every event. That'll put them at that 196.
Take a look at the Ohio State Buckeyes on the uneven bars. They did have that fall from Stone, but picked up by Jenna Schwartzentruber, tying her career high, and there is that 49, dead even.
And of course, 6 up, 5 count for a good reason. Teammates have the take the ball mentality. They were able to recover really well after Jamie Stone went down. Drop that score, of course, and they're still with a 49. Hopefully they can keep this momentum through the rest of the events and come out with above a 196.
Remind everybody they go in Olympic order, and they just do the flip here for the second rotation. That means Michigan State will move to the bars. And Mike Rowe, you're going to see him a lot during these 6 up right here with the 5 count scores. Mike Rowe is very much involved in the bar routine and a lot of fun to watch. And the Buckeyes on vault, as we showed you last week. Jenna Schwartzentruber anchors and then leads off on the vault for the Buckeyes. There's Mike Rowe. He's got the pink out. We had pink last week in Penn State. By the way, this is the 13th annual breast cancer awareness meet for Michigan State, doing great things to raise awareness for breast cancer. Penn State did the same thing a week ago right here on BTN.
I love the pink meets because we get to see a departure from our normal team colors, and adding in that pink there makes it a lot of fun.
13 years in a row for Michigan State. I showed you earlier, now 5 Big Ten teams in the top 25, including this Ohio State team. And Meredith told us a couple weeks ago that she wants to make this team a top 12 program, saying that's a key number for national recognition. She said, you know, we're not Oklahoma yet, but that is the goal someday. With some time, we're going to take baby steps and go to it. We talked about their mentality as well, but certainly that energy she brings, and now at 14, she's pretty close to that coveted 12 spot.
I'm so excited about Meredith. She's just incredible. And when we talked to her on the phone before these meets, she is just so real about what she needs to do to get Ohio State to this national stage. And she's doing just that. She's focusing on really small improvements, making sure that they're making an impact every single week that they're going out and delivering the best that they can. And man, great team.
Yeah, she's all in, including the leotard. She got very involved in this one, the firecracker leotard. And there is the lineup. Jenna Schwarzentrooper, Janelle McClellan, Sydney Jennings, Morgan Lowe, Olivia Apley, and then Jamie Stone.
Not the best start. Definitely couldn't get her timing right on this block here. You can see her going into that round-up entry, just completely missed her block there. Couldn't get the twist all around.
What about anchoring right before and then the lead off? There's not a whole lot of time. Might still be thinking she just had that 9-9, a lot of emotion. Does that affect her at all?
Definitely a quick turnaround. Normally, when I would compete in an event like that, I would have a little bit of time, a little bit of breathing room to get back up on the next event. So good for her. We saw her do it last week, but definitely a fluke.
Well, here's Sydney Ewing, the freshman, with a 9.75 already this season. And look at Coach Rowe right there in the middle.
Standing there for just in case. She's just finishing up this routine. Nice and strong here. Double back dismount. Beautiful stuck landing. Great start. And as a freshman, to lead off this team, so impressive. You know that they're hitting these routines in practice, enough to be a reliable starting force here for the lineup. Great start.
She had a great start at Michigan with a 9.75. She may top that score, as it was a pretty good landing. Her feet didn't move too much. It'll be Janelle McClellan up next for the Buckeyes, one of 3 seniors.
Putting a little bit of pressure on her. She knows she needs to deliver a really solid vault here. Nice job. Yurchenko half, blind landing, looking for that stick there. Really great recovery here. You can see the height and the straight body that she's getting off the table. Really, really clean vault.
Senior from Bidwell, Ohio, will take the Ohio Against the World flag. She went to River Valley. As we move back over to Michigan State, sophomore Tristan Brown coming off an impressive 9.85. That's a solid 2 scores. Wow, Ewing a 9.625. Actually less than what she scored against Michigan. Here's what Brown can do.
Starting off this routine, not quite hitting those handstands exactly where they want to go, but really clean, keeping those legs together. Beautiful height on that Tkachev. Nice job on that last handstand there. A little hesitant on the full pirouette. Beautiful routine though. Definitely a win. Stayed on the bar. Here's a look at that Tkachev again. Nice height on that. And just another look at that dismount. You can tell that when she's turning around on that full pirouette, she's a little off of that 90-degree angle, which of course the judges will take.
Sydney Jennings, the freshman, 9.75 last week against Penn State. The best score for the Buckeyes in that 3 spot. As you see McClellan with that 9.775.
Yurchenko full, a little late on that twist there, and I'm noticing that this is not the first one that we've seen like this. So it looks like she's just not getting enough block off the table here. She's forced to pike down a little bit and take that step with her chest down.
Molly Horner O'Malley, the senior, has got her career high this year already, 9.725. As we talked about, little extra adrenaline taking on Michigan at Michigan, and Mike Rowe really liked what his team brought against the Wolverines.
Definitely, and this is his event here. Really nice job on that Jaeger. Aggressive gymnastics, that's what we like to see. Beautiful pec salto. A little late on that half pirouette. But this is a good routine. She's trying to hit that handstand, you can definitely tell. Nice stuck landing there. Great job. Good routine.
Landings have been solid for Michigan State here on the uneven bars.
And here's that dismount. We're watching her, but really, he's so excited. I love that.
The perfect shot right there. So invested on the bars as Mike Rowe. Saw her stick her landing after fading a little bit on the handstand. Morgan Lowe, sophomore, she had a 9.725 last week. Her career high is a 9.875.
Yurchenko full, beautiful. That was a great vault. And what I loved about it was the body position in the air. You can tell that she was just straight bodied the whole time. Really knew where the ground was. You take a look at this again. Right as she's twisting through the air, just super straight body, flares it out, sees the ground, just takes a little bit of a hop. Really good stuff.
Meredith Paulasiewicz loves the spirit of Morgan Lowe. It's almost like a mini Meredith Paulasiewicz with that spirit. Solid job by Morgan Lowe. Molly, by the way, had a 9.80, so a new career high for Molly Horner O'Malley. Congratulations. And that'll bring up Roya Shirley. Her career high is a 9.8, her season high at 9.625.
And this is such a good bar team. You can tell that they're focusing on the things that make the routine work, like those stuck dismounts. Really sets them apart. This is some big gymnastics, different gymnastics. She's doing a ton of uprises in this routine, something you don't see all the time. And she almost had that landing for sure. Good routine. And if you take a look at this dismount, it's a huge full twisting double back. Almost had that stick. Just took a really small step. Of course, Mike in the back. He's excited.
Roya always knows where that camera is as well. She is a showstopper. As we move back over to Olivia Apley. Of course, a 9.9 career high on the vault.
Nice Yurchenko full. Beautiful stuck landing. That's exactly what we wanted out of her. Gorgeous. When I talked to Coach Paulasiewicz about thoughts on the meet, too, she said that they're working on adding a sting mat in the middle of that mat, and you can see that their vaults are just so big that they need to control these landings, and I really think that that's what really helped Olivia this week, getting that stick.
Excellent point and a solid job there at the 5th spot there for Olivia Apley. As we move over to the 5th spot for Michigan State, it's Leah Mitchell. She had a 9.85 a year ago. Her best score so far this season, a 9.775 on the bars. I can tell you that Olivia Apley, 9.825 on the vault. Same score last week against Penn State.
Wow. Beautiful release move here. Just a little short on that bail handstand. But what I love about Leah is her floaty handstands. And you can tell that she has such polish and poise. Couldn't quite hang on to that dismount. Just set that up a little bit too early. Couldn't get it quite around. It was a really great routine up until that dismount. And here's another look at that release move. She's doing a Hindorf there from a toe on. Beautiful height. Really nice job.
So Jamie Stone, Big Ten vault champion from a year ago.
I love watching this vault. She did this, won this meet out of a vault that doesn't even start from a 10.0 and beat out some other girls that were doing 9.95s. Awesome. Let's see if she can do it again. We just got a stick from Olivia. I love watching that kind of momentum build up towards the end of the lineup here. Couldn't quite hang on to that landing. It's difficult. It's a blind landing, so sometimes you're going to have to take that step in the wrong direction. They're probably going to take a small deduction for rotation too here. But I love her body position in the air. Just couldn't quite get it this time.
So the senior now in the anchor spot, held last year by Alexis Mattern, who moved on. It'll be Jessica Ling, the anchor for Michigan State. Her career high, season high, set this year with a 9.875.
She's our bar specialist here for Michigan State. Beautiful Ginger. Oh. Couldn't quite hang on to that bail.
You see that knee wrapped ACL last year.
And finishing up strong here. Nice full twisting double back. Beautiful stuck landing. You know, sometimes that just happens. Your hand just slips off the bar for no reason. And here you can see it again. You have to be so precise. And that was definitely a fluke.
So that will end the second rotation. Some early momentum for Mike Rowe's team on the bars. The Buckeyes picking up the ball and running with it. Third rotation, the Buckeyes on the floor. Michigan State on the beam. Women's basketball matchup as the Buckeyes and the Gophers meet in Minneapolis tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern right here on BTN and the Fox Sports app. Welcome back to the Jennison Fieldhouse, where we're pleased to be joined by second-year head coach for the Ohio State Buckeyes, Meredith Paulasiewicz. And Meredith, a season high on the vault. Your thoughts through two rotations?
I mean, I feel like we are definitely a young team that's learning how to be on the road for 4 weeks in a row, which I'm hoping at the end of the season is really going to pay off for us. I felt like we had a really great training week, so I feel like we have a lot more gymnastics than what we showed, but so far so good.
And Meredith, talk to me about the take the ball mentality. This looks like such a strong team. They're already being challenged by a few mistakes, but recovering super well. Comment on that.
Well, I mean, it's something that we work on every day in terms of, you know, have somebody's back and that we need 5 out of 6 good scores to count. So, you know, we've got to have each other's back every time. And so far, they've been doing a really good job at that. So we'll see how we do on the last 2.
Finally, you talk about look good, feel good, the firecracker leotards, the glitter belt we're showing on BTN.
Yeah.
Look good, feel good, right, Meredith?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm so excited to be, having new leotards this year, and always great to support a good cause with the pink meat, and want to remind everyone to support UIC gymnastics as well. We don't want to see any programs getting dropped. So
always great spending time with you, Meredith. Thanks for being with us.
thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, Meredith Polasiewicz, not afraid to show the glitter. Let's get you caught up on the team story. The Buckeyes with the lead at 97-975. They get the feeling Meredith Polasiewicz not totally happy with that score. I don't think she knew that it was a season high on the vault, and it was helped by 3 consecutive 9.825s.
They're close. They're close to that 49, just a quarter of a tenth. That could have been a small landing here and there, and they're right there. So they're making these improvements, and she's great to watch. They're very hard on themselves. You can tell that.
Let's take a look at the scores for Michigan State. Their individual scores, their totals of 48.5. Of course, we saw the fall in that anchor spot, but led in the middle there by a career high, the senior Molly Horner-O'Malley.
Couldn't quite put the entire lineup together here, but definitely a big score for Molly. If we had Jessica Ling on her game today, didn't make that fluke mistake, they would have been vying for a nice score here on uneven bars for sure.
Roya Shirley, the camera always finds her. She may turn out to be somebody that could do what you do as well. She big personality, likes to work with broadcast. And Roya Shirley, so good to see her back in the lineup with Ella Douglas. Great energy as always at Jenison.
Some final words here. Shaking off the jitters before balance beam, always important.
So there you see the Michigan State beam light up for Coach Mike Rowe. Allie Hoyer, the junior, up first.
She did not compete last year. Had a 9.8 on beam in 2017. And in the leadoff spot here, really important position, making sure that she's setting the tone for the rest of the lineup. Starting off really strong with the back handspring layout series. Wow. That is an impressive skill. I love that she's displaying some artistry here, having fun with her choreography. Now I can see why she's in the leadoff position here. She just has this air of confidence, which is important when you're putting somebody up in that first spot. You want to make sure that they're reliable and hitting this first routine. And that was a really gorgeous dismount too. Cartwheel gainer, stuck dismount. Awesome job for Allie. Here's another look at that slide to the split. Now, here's another look at that dismount. Cartwheel gainer, stuck landing, beautiful routine.
She had a 9.8 on the beam in 2017. That looks like a score that will go above 9.8. A fun routine for Allie Hoyer as we move back over to Amanda Wong, the senior and leadoff for the Buckeyes on the floor. And we tell you the story every time. Meredith Polasiewicz, one of the top choreographers for gymnastics in the country. She is all about the Buckeyes on the floor.
All about the Buckeyes on the floor, and for good reason. She's an amazing choreographer and really likes to set the routines to their personalities. It's really fun to watch. Starting off really strong with a round off back handspring double pike. Showing some really nice control on that landing there, which is going to be key in setting up the Buckeyes for a nice strong score. A little out of control on that 2.5, but she recovered pretty well here. It's a really difficult skill to land. course, from that blind landing, you can't see the ground. So a lot of times you open up a little bit in the wrong direction there. And Meredith says that she is cute as a button. She definitely is. We love watching her on floor.
Been a great leadoff. Tough going last week at Penn State. Let's see how she handles this pass.
Nice job recovering from that skill from last week. Beautiful routine. And here's another look at that first pass. Round off back handspring, double pike. Nice control on that landing into that lunge. Great routine for Amanda.
So solid lead off for both Michigan State and Ohio State on the beam and floor respectively. As we move back over to Alyssa Weidman, a freshman, one of 2 freshmen that will feature on the beam for Coach Mike Rowe in Michigan State.
It's impressive to see 2 freshmen in the 1 and 2 spot here on the balance beam. Just couldn't quite handle that landing on the back handspring layout there. And that'll be a 5/10 deduction. Of course, they'll want to drop this score. It's going to put a little pressure on the rest of the lineup here to make sure everybody stays on the balance beam.
Weidman's season high, thus her career high, the freshman, a 9.75.
Nice job on that front toss to a beat jump series. Now it's still extremely important to make sure that she's minimizing the deductions here. Don't want to have any of those arm movements. This score might end up counting if we have another fall in the lineup here. Hopefully there isn't. Just the dismount. Really nice gainer tuck full. Very unique dismount. And here's another look at that back handspring layout from a different angle. She just couldn't quite get her foot on the beam. You can tell that she's piking her chest, couldn't get it up. And here's that front toss series to the beat jump. Really nice recovery there with that skill.
Reminding you that it was the beam that turned out to be the undoing as Michigan State was hanging in there with a very good Michigan team. As we move back over to the floor, and it's Danica Abanto, a 9.85, her season high and career high for the sophomore.
And first pass, round up back handspring, double pike. Huge, huge double pike there. You almost could walk right underneath her while she's flipping.
Yeah, Meredith Pavlosevic talking about the incredible giddy up in her legs for the sophomore from Tyler, Texas.
Nice 1.5 front layout, beautiful control. Beautiful presentation here. She is really fun to watch. Beautiful leaps. And of course you can see the athletes doing her floor routine with her. They know all of her choreography.
The athletes and Meredith.
And Meredith, well, yeah. And Meredith.
Little OHIO together.
Just the last pass, double back, a little short with her chest on that landing. Meredith talked about some of the improvements that they've been making in the gym. They have been noticing that they're feeling a little gassed on those third passes, so they've been doing a lot of endurance work. That first pass, round up back handspring double pike, was super huge. And here she is having a little bit of fun with her teammates there.
Some instruction. So we move back over to Michigan State. You see Weidman with that 9.225. Madison Maddie McHale, the sophomore, up now. She's a sophomore from Naperville, Illinois. Exhibition last weekend. Breaks into the lineup this weekend for Michigan State.
And that's why that exhibition spot is such an opportunity to prove yourself in the lineup, out on the competition floor. She's starting off with a back handspring, back layout. Some movement there on the landing. Of course, that'll be a couple tenths of a deduction for that landing. And the same on this front toss here. Just looking a little unsure of herself here. Nice job on that leap series, making sure that she's connecting all of the elements there to receive that full requirement. And nice job hanging on to that gainer full. That was a nice stick. And definitely after a fall, that's a good recovery. That's exactly the kind of routine that we want. Staying on the beam and minimizing the deductions.
Little wobble, but held on, and then, as you said, a stuck landing will help her score as we move over to the first ever appearance that will count. Exhibition last week at Penn State, but Miriam Perez into the lineup for the Buckeyes, and this will be the first score.
And it's great to see her in this lineup. She's been exhibitioning her floor routine. And when we have injuries in the lineup, this is a great opportunity for somebody to break in and start challenging that number 6 spot there. Nice job starting off with a run-up back handspring double pike. Second pass here. And having some fun with the crowd.
Of course, she gets a shot because of the injury to freshman phenom Claire Gagliardi, who had a little tweak in practice this week.
And what's good about this routine is that if she does a good one, she can prove herself in the lineup, start challenging all of the other spots here. Some healthy competition in the gym. And wow, that double back was just sky high. Gorgeous dismount there. Great routine. She's not holding on to those landings as well as she should be, but definitely for a new competitor here, really solid routine. Here's a look at that second pass. Nice job holding on to that. She's a little bouncy on those landings, but definitely a good routine.
High elevation, so now she's just got those final details as Elena Rabin up next on the beam. You see the scores there. Rabin will be looking for a 9.8 plus to get Michigan State back in this. She has put up a 9.85 this season already, and there's a little wobble.
Good start here. You can tell she looks super confident on the balance beam, though. That's important. You want to make sure you are talking to yourself and you are sure of yourself through every movement that you're doing and you're not getting ahead of yourself. Nice aerial connection there to a round off. And satisfying that full turn requirement. Sometimes the easiest skills are the ones that give us the most difficulty, but she handled that very well. And just a small step on the dismount. Really nice routine. And here's another look at that front full. Just the smallest step there, but really beautiful routine. Good energy, picking that back up after a fall early on.
Take a look at the all-around story. Olivia Apley leading right now with that 19.65, and she and Miss Stone so fun to watch on the floor as well.
The Buckeyes are deep in this floor exercise lineup. Me putting up some big scores here. The drama. Nice double back. And showing some really nice control on those jumps there. They're just as important as the tumbling passes. They're going to be satisfying requirements in the composure of their routines. Nice job on that second pass, looking for the landing there. And taking some final breaths to finish up this routine strong.
Career high is a 9.9, season high 9.775.
She goes round back handspring double pike. Just couldn't quite get that landing. And here's that first pass. You can see she's fresh, going into that routine really strong. Super sky high, round off back handspring double back. And then you can see it's just, she's running out of steam a little bit too early here. Couldn't quite get that double pike all the way around.
Well, that shot right there tells the story. You can see in her eyes the disappointment. And that will open up, I do believe, the all-around competition just a little bit, as Ella Douglas in the 5th spot here on the beam for the Spartans. She has a career high of 9.9, season high of 9.85.
And this is her event. She is one of the only gymnasts to do a quadruple turn. Didn't do it there, but beautiful turn. She was the Canadian National Beam Champion. And she's just fun to watch. Beautiful series. Just dropped her shoulder just a little bit. Be a small deduction there. But you can tell she has such a commanding presence on balance beam and really gorgeous lines. Side aerial full, stuff dismount, gorgeous routine. Really, really nice job. And here's another look, 1, 2. Beautiful to the beat jump. And there's another look at that side aerial, full twist, really beautiful body position in the air, gorgeous stuck landing. Nice job.
Wonderful to have her smile back in the rotation for Michigan State. As you see, Apley score a 9.15. That will affect her all-around status, and it'll also mean Meredith Paulicivic will hope Janelle McClellan and Jamie Stone can put up some big scores.
We need 2 big scores at the end of this lineup. We can't count another fall. Nice job. Double pike. Huge and controlled. I love Meredith in the background there doing the routine with her. Front full, front layout, gorgeous landing. That was awesome. Janelle is just so clean on this event.
She really is. She does have her career high of 9.9, 9.875 this season. A little bit of the Alina Weinstein showmanship out there right now.
Showing off her personality, having fun with the crowd. That's what it's all about. just the last pass here. She's got to get this landing. Nice job. Really great finish here. Take the ball mentality. Had a fall, brought it back on board. And here's another look at that second pass. Front full to a front layout. She almost didn't even need to take that lunge. It was so in control. And here's another look at that last pass, the hardest pass. You're so tired at the end of your routine, but she did a really nice job.
Yeah, pretty clean, and you said it. Needed a big performance after the finish there from Apley, and Janelle McClellan delivered it. Now Leah Mitchell, the sophomore, put up a 9.85 in her freshman campaign. They'll need a 9.85. The beam has been tough on the Spartans.
And if she does a nice job here, if she hits all four, she could definitely take the all-around crown today. And Leah is another athlete that I love to watch. You can tell that she just looks so confident and so poised. Wow, that was impressive.
It really was.
I don't know how she stayed on that beam.
The power of one leg right there, down to her toes.
That was quite the fight. She's just brushing it off like nothing happened.
Yeah, that smile was like a deep breath with her as she hung on.
True athlete. Just the dismount, round off 1.5. Almost had a stick there, took a small hop, no big deal. But the important thing is that she stayed on the balance beam and they didn't have to count another fall. And here's where she saves it. She's doing a back handspring layout. So she's doing a triple series on one leg. Her shoulder is completely tilted off. She's supposed to fall off the beam. And instead she does a scale. What a fight.
Yeah, what a fight. The power, the composure. As we take a look here at Jamie Stone. A 9.95 career high. Last week, she had a 9.875 on the all-around. This performance, another one of those one to watch. You'll enjoy it.
And this is a true team event here. They are not letting any of these falls count against them here. They have each other's backs. And let's see Jamie here. Round off back handspring, double pike, gorgeous height.
Tell you, Leah Mitchell in with a 9.70.
Beautiful 2.5 twist to a punch front. Showing really nice control on all of these landings here. These are really difficult passes to land. And dancing with the crowd, and there's her teammates cheering along with her. The last pass here. We need a big score and a big tumbling pass here from Jamie. Nice job, 2.5. Finishing with that skill at the end of the routine is so difficult because it's a blind landing and you have so much little control there. Here's another look at that first pass. Round up back handspring, double pike, straight body there in the flip. And here's that second pass. Round up back handspring, 2.5 to a punch front. Nice control into the dance. And another look at that 2.5 twist to a lunge.
The artistry was there, and also the hops were there. A complete performance from Jamie Stone.
Great routine.
9-9-0 for Jamie Stone, a season high for the senior when they needed it. We'll take a look at Molly Horner-O'Malley, who, by the way, Molly already with a career high earlier for Michigan State. This is an exhibition only. It won't count, but good opportunity for her to get some reps.
Oops, just couldn't quite get that back handspring layout on the beam. But again, good point. This is an exhibition routine, so this is not going to count against the Spartans here. Just an opportunity for some practice. Feel out the balance beam and what it feels like in competition. Nice series there. And just the dismount. Front full, nice stuck landing, good recovery. Not exactly the routine that she was looking for, but overall, good practice.
We come back, we'll show you the results through 3 rotations. Ohio State trying to win 3 in a row there on the beam. Michigan State on the floor from East Lansing. Breast Cancer Awareness Meet. The energy is pretty good here at Jenison. Your thoughts so far?
Hey, yeah, we're having a great time, Dean. Really excited about how we started off on vault today. Actually, our season high. So we've been making a little bit of progress on some details. Bars, a little uncharacteristic. We had a career high with Molly Horner-O'Malley at 9.8. She's really excited about that. Upgraded some dismounts, so we're playing around with some things that are just getting put into routines, and we got a long ways to go on bars, so we're not anywhere close to being where we should be. In beam, we were happy that the rest of the team got to have each other's back when Alyssa went down, so you know, very nice where we're sitting right now. We're going to floor, which is usually our main event, so should be some good things exciting for you to see.
Coach, we're heading into your best event on floor. Can you highlight what you're most excited for us to see right now?
The choreography, the energy, the performance aspect of it. Yeah, we're always looking for details, stuck landings and amplitude on tumbling and leaps and jumps, but our kids are really learning how to perform and having a lot of good time with the choreography.
Coach, always great to be with you. Thanks so much for your time.
Thanks, Coach.
Sure, thank you.
All right, Mike Rowe told us he's not feeling all that great, but he wipes that aside. Always great energy. And how about our State Farm State of Success? Just a couple years ago, Michigan State, you talked about what they can do on the floor. Not 1, not 2, but 3 seniors finishing first. Nicola Deans, Kira Frederick, and Elena Legoski. All 3 of them taking the gold at the Big Ten Championships at Rutgers.
Incredible to have that kind of momentum, especially having 3 identical scores above a 9.9. What a feeling to finish a championship like that. It's just, that's what you work all season for.
And that's our State Farm State of Success. Let's take a look at the scores here on the beam. And you see the 9.85 coming from Douglas, which we'll show you will put her in the lead for the all-around, a 48.75 overall. And the Buckeyes on the floor with Meredith Paula-Civic doing the dances with her Buckeyes. The 9.9 from Jamie Stone in that anchor spot.
The rest of this lineup really had to hustle, but if there were 2 people that could bring this team back, it was Janelle and Jamie with those high scores at the end of the lineup, and they're going to be looking to do that on balance beam today.
A full point lead now for Ohio State as they move over to the beam, and Michigan State will try to fire up this crowd at Jenison on the floor. A 147.1 versus a 146.1. If you're Meredith Paula-Civic, you know you have that 1-point lead. You know you're going to, quote, the toughest event. What is your message?
Well, the message is the same. You're not looking at the other team here. You're just looking to focus on yourselves and do what you do in practice. She's going to be looking to calm down these nerves and make sure that they're just staying within the bubble.
It's not going to be easy, though. Jenna Schwartzentruber, supposed to be the anchor. She is a scratch. Nobody's going to fill in, so it's 5 up, 5 count added pressure for Ohio State.
Definitely added pressure, but if there's any time that you want to be practicing this pressure, it's going to be early on in the season, because championships roll around and you could be counting falls here, and this is exactly the type of pressure, type of situation that you want to make sure that you have nailed down in competition.
All right, little added drama here as the Buckeyes start with Amanda Wong. Remember, only 5 up for Ohio State. The anchor, Jenna Schwartzentruber, is out.
Every routine counts here. Starting with back handspring layout series into a splashdown, beautiful triple series. It's definitely a unique combination. We're not seeing that too often here. She's calm, she's precise. She's focusing on the small details and the small movements. Wow, beautiful sheep jump combination. Taking her eyes off the balance beam. Such a difficult thing to do. It's valued as an E skill in the code of points. And just the dismount, double twist, beautiful routine. Great job in that leadoff position.
If you ever needed a solid leadoff, you needed it here, knowing last minute that Schwartzentruber is out. Her career high's at 9.85, season high 9.75. She should be in and around those numbers.
And here's another look at that back handspring layout to the splashdown, triple series. Very, very difficult combination to do. We're not going to see that a lot in the NCAA.
All right, Michigan State. Tristan Brown, the sophomore, with a career high of 9.8 on the floor. The leadoff spot for the Spartans.
Showing a little bit of attitude right before that first pass. Nice job on that double pike. Can't tell if she went out of bounds from this angle. And of course, using the cushion of that mat early on in season to protect those ankles, and that's allowed. Here's that second pass, 1.5 to front layout. Nice control on that combination. Taking some time to breathe, get some energy back before she goes into that last pass. It's always the most difficult. Really nice double back. Beautiful routine. She was such a consistent 9.8 performer last year. I definitely think she's within that realm here today.
Certainly a solid last pass for the sophomore from DeWitt, Michigan.
And here's another look at that first pass. And it looks like she was pretty close to stepping out on that line there. Nice routine.
So we move back over to Morgan Lowe.
Amanda set her up for a nice score to follow with that 9.825. So if she hits a nice clean routine, we should see the momentum moving through in this lineup here with those elevated scores. That handspring layout step out, beautiful. I love the way that she flares that out in the middle of that flight series. Sees the ground, hangs on to that landing, no deductions. Nice job on that leap series as well. Of course, all of these skills are making up the requirements of the composure of this routine, and She's checking off all the boxes as she moves through this routine.
She checked them off at NC State with a career high of 9.85.
What a beautiful beam worker. She's confident and polished. Just the dismount here. Oh, she totally missed her foot on that round off there. Just slipped right off the beam. That was going to be a big score, too. Here's another look at that flight series. Just so gorgeous, so flighty in the air. And here's that dismount. You can see her foot just slipped right off the edge of the beam. It's really difficult to do a twist off the balance beam with one foot. So no doubt we knew that was going down.
Fantastic work by our BTN crew. Producer Jim Ressler, director Tom Blair, and the entire gang catching that foot slipping, and just to clean that up again. Jenna Schwarzentrooper was actually the lead off, and she is out. So everybody just got to step up, and we'll see if that Morgan Lowe score will allow Michigan State to sneak in here on this final rotation.
Well, now they're counting a fall. Of course, with that 5-up, 5 count, one of them is going to be a fall. So this could make things interesting for Michigan State. Here's Sydney going into her second pass. Run off 1.5 to a front layout. Teetering on that out of bounds line. I'm not sure if she stepped out. She was fighting to stay in.
All right, Alini, we will tell you that Morgan Lowe a 9.25 with that stumble at the end, and that score will count.
Interesting strategy. I think it was without putting up 6 people. At this point, if we had a fall, we could have had one more to go up, and maybe it would have been a fall, maybe it wouldn't have been, but definitely giving some more opportunity for bigger scores.
Ewing, 9.825, her career high, season high freshman.
Nice job finishing up the routine with that Rudy. Great routine. And here's that second pass. She was fighting so hard to stay in bounds there. And you can see her conscious of that line, tiptoeing around it. And then there's that last pass, front handspring, 1.5 twist. And finishing up that routine really nicely.
Yeah, Mike Rowe talks about her beautiful lines, that front double full, nice passes. Solid performance from the freshman from Frisco, Texas. This will bring up the senior for the Buckeyes, Jamie Stone.
They need some big scores here. They're counting a fall now. And they need to minimize these deductions here.
Stone is capable of a big score, a career high of a 9.925.
Nice job, back handspring layout. She's looking a little cautious. She knows that they had a fall early on in the lineup, but hopefully she won't let this phase her. Nice job with that switch side. And just the dismount here. Round off 2.5 twist. Beautiful job.
Clutch.
Nice routine.
Clutch indeed for Jamie Stone. Reminding everybody, Jenna Schwarzentrooper, the leadoff, a scratch. Nobody replacing. And now Jamie Stone getting it done.
Here's another look at that back handspring layout. Just a small balance check with that shoulder. And here's another look at that dismount. 2.5 twist. Beautiful landing. Nice routine. There's Meredith's reaction. She is so much fun to watch on balance beam when she gets excited like that.
Well, she knows there's added drama added as we bring up Ashley Hoflick. Hoflick up, the freshman from Novi, Michigan.
Really nice first pass. You could almost walk right underneath her in that flip. One and a half front layout. Beautiful controlled landing there. Really minimizing these deductions, making this routine count.
Well, and Mike Rowe said at Michigan, he said her routine was flawless. He couldn't really see where the deductions even came from. That's how good she was.
And we're seeing that today. She's showing really nice control on all of these landings. She's not even taking the lunge.
Remember, Michigan State just 1 point behind heading into this final rotation, unaware that Ohio State would have to go 5 up, 5 down on the beam.
And just the last pass, double back, a little short on that landing. And took that step forward. Good routine. And here's that first pass, round up back handspring, double pike, huge height. Chest up on the landing, really nice control. And that second pass, 1.5 to a front layout, just clicks her heels together, doesn't even need to take that freebie lunge that you're allowed to take without deduction. And just a little soft knees here on that landing, but no major deductions.
All right, here's Caitlin Gilson, the freshman. As she gets ready to go, Alina Weinstein, we came on the air showing your 10. You experienced everything during your time at Illinois. How about what the Buckeyes are facing here, knowing that it's just the 5 up, 5 count because of the scratch from Swartz and Truber?
Well, this is a unique position to be in. Normally, you're fighting a fall and you have the rest of the lineup to be able to overcome that, and so this is tough for them. They know that no matter what, they're going to have a 5/10 deduction off of the top of their score. So if it were me, I'd be focusing on trying to breathe, make sure that I'm doing everything just the way that I do it in practice and not change my gymnastics.
And then add in the fact that Caitlin Gilson, just her initial campaign in college,
judges are disagreeing on a score here. So they're going to be talking about why they're not agreeing on these scores. This is causing a little bit of anxiety here for Caitlin. Looks like they're ready to go. Gymnastics is all about getting ready to wait. Ready to go and then ready to wait for the judges when they don't agree on the score.
So we understand it was a discussion about the previous score for Jamie Stone as the freshman Caitlin Gilson from Hudson, Wisconsin. We can confirm that nothing was changed on the Stone score.
Wow, that was quite the save. So back handspring layout. It looked like she was not sure about that landing, but managed to hang on. She's very calm for a freshman. You can definitely see that as she's doing this routine. She's not letting anything shake her. It's a really nice switch half. Just dropped her shoulder ever so slightly. Caused her to have that balance check. She's doing a good job staying composed, staying calm. Just the dismount here, back handspring 1.5. Little side step there, but overall great routine. Really fought for that first series to stay on that balance beam. And here's another look at that dismount. Back handspring 1.5. Just the side step. Overall good routine.
Yep, kept her left foot down, her right foot moving just a little bit, but as you said, held on not once but twice, and the Buckeyes needed her to do just that. Good score from Ashley Hoflick. Now it's Elena Rabin, a freshman who's already put up a 9.85 on the floor in that 4th spot.
Opening up with a front handspring, double front, really difficult pass. Smiling, having a good time with the crowd. That's why I love floor. Nice leap series here, showing above that 180-degree requirement. Watching this routine, seeing her get into this is awesome.
A big score here could matter, as we can tell you Michigan State has cut the lead through 3 rotations in half. They trail by just 0.45.
And here she goes, just that last pass. Let's see if she can hold on to this routine. She needs a big, clean landing, and she delivers. Beautiful. Nice job. And we're taking a look at that last pass. She's doing a front layout, front full, and you can tell by the will of her back muscles that she's able to pull that up from a bridge.
Pulled her entire body up.
So impressive.
Without moving her feet.
That
Big time.
Incredible.
Now as we look at the all-around story, Jamie Stone with a slight lead there. Olivia Apley in the all-around story, and now the all-important anchor spot. Again, Jenna Schwartzentruber supposed to be the lead off a scratch, and the Buckeyes did not replace her.
Back handspring layout, really fighting to get that foot on the balance beam, not count that fall. A little shaky, the Buckeyes are through this beam lineup, of course, with that added pressure. Nice job with that leap series. And just the dismount here, gainer, full, small hop on that landing, but made that routine. Didn't count another fall. And we'll take a look at that flight series again. Back handspring, back layout, step out. And we're just trying to get that back foot on the beam. Another look at that dismount. Wasn't quite sure where the ground was there. A little bouncy, but that's a win.
Well, there was so much emotion last week from Meredith Paulicific after Olivia Apley nailed a 9.85 for a career high. I don't think she'll match that, but we'll await the number. With 2 to go here, it's Ella Douglas and Leah Mitchell. And Michigan State has a shot at shocking the number 14 Ohio State Buckeyes.
They're already having such a great floor performance. We have 2 more to go. We can really challenge these scores at the end and elevate that floor score. Beautiful double pike, super sky high, really nice landing on that from Ella.
9.775 for Olivia Apley for the Buckeyes.
Clean landings here. It's really great to see. This can be a big score if she just commits to the landings on her leaps and her last pass.
Her career high is a 9.875. It's the same for Leah Mitchell at 9.875.
Beautiful leap series.
Alina, the Buckeyes at 185.65. Michigan State at 185.15. But that could change if these two can wipe out Elena Raven's 9.7. That's what we're looking at here in these final 2 performances.
And I think they can. Ella's had a gorgeous routine so far. Everything from her tumbling to her leaps to her artistry. Let's see if she can finish this up. Double back. Beautiful. I think this is going to be a big score. Wow. Nicely done. She is so impressive to watch. And here's that first pass. Round off back handspring, double pike. Beautiful landing. And just that last pass. Double tuck. Nice job. This is going to be a big score.
She brought it all, indeed. And if you could, again, Alina Weinstein, as we wait for Leah Mitchell, we'll see an exhibition first for Ohio State. This is interesting that this is an exhibition as it's Danica Abanto, but our understanding is it won't count.
I'm pretty surprised. So it looks like we have a change. It looks like Danica's score is going to count. They're not exhibitioning her.
Well, that makes sense. Okay, so we were told, just so you know, that they were just going to go 5 up, 5 down, but that makes perfect sense, and that'll be big for the Buckeyes if she can hang in.
And she's doing a really nice job so far.
A little moonwalk action.
Love that.
And I love that this score counts.
Beautiful. That's a great score. That's exactly what the Buckeyes needed. Wow, what a plot twist.
Yeah, indeed. As we were confused, to say the least, right? And that makes perfect sense because we couldn't quite figure it out. And now a big score when you need it here from Abanto.
And here's another look at that. Gainer dismount. Nice job.
And the emotion from Meredith Paulicific dealing with that scratch and putting it all together. I mean, it does make perfect sense, right? Because they knew they were going to do an exhibition, and Abanto instead waved off and gets back in there as we look at the all-around story. Olivia Apley, and you see Leah Mitchell. Leah Mitchell will win the all-around with just an average performance by her standards. A 9.850, by the way, for Danica.
And such a powerful competitor to have at the end of the lineup. A nice little 1-2 punch for Ella and Leah here. Nice double back. And she's going to be thinking about this all-around crown when she's done with this floor routine. All she needs to do is just land these passes. They don't have to be good. They don't have to be great. She just has to land them.
Leah Mitchell looks to be dancing toward an all-around title. No score, I don't believe, will be enough because of the late news that that final beam performance for the Buckeyes counts. They're in the clubhouse with a 195.5, so now it's about watching that all-around race.
And here she goes, just the last pass. She lands this pass, I'd say it's a win. She goes round up back handspring, double pike. Nice job for Leah. That was a great routine.
Her career high is a 9.875. She may top that, as we've seen a couple career highs today for Michigan State. Let's look at that final pass.
Round up back handspring, double pike. Beautiful body position in the air. Really nice and controlled landing. She just had such a nice meet today.
No confusion about the all-arounder. There was some confusion about what was going on with the Buckeyes on the beam, as Kobe Miller is actually going to do the exhibition. Everything's back to normal. Everything's making sense. The Buckeyes will win 3 in a row, as now we'll see Kobe Miller get a chance on the beam.
Giving some more athletes here for some more competition opportunity.
So as Kobe Miller falls, 9.90 for Leah Mitchell, the sophomore with a career high today on the Big Ten Network.
She had some really outstanding performances. I just love watching her compete, and she's only a sophomore, so she's had 1 season with the Spartans and already competing like such a veteran. You can just tell she's so composed and so gorgeous to watch on every event. She's going to do some big things this year. Trying to hang on to this routine. Nice job with that side aerial series. It's never easy to finish a routine after a fall. Here she goes, just that dismount. At some point, when you haven't had the best performance, you just think to yourself, I've just got to get off this beam.
And Ohio State did what they needed to do. Jenna Schwarzentrooper a scratch, but stepping up with Danica Abanto. The Buckeyes win 3 in a row over Michigan State. Leah Mitchell, your all-around winner. We'll be back to wrap it up. An all-new edition of The Journey, Big Ten Basketball 2019, fueled by Gatorade. Tonight at 7:30 Eastern right here on BTN. Michigan State, they've got a lot to celebrate. A season-high 195.225. Apologies to the Buckeye faithful that were probably having some heart attacks out there, worried about getting that extra gymnast up there on the beam. They did, and they did enough to win 3 in a row and knock off Michigan State.
And we're glad we had misinformation there. We're glad that they had 6 up, 5 count. Of course, they had that fall. They were able to drop it. They were able to recover, get that 196 for the 3rd time on the road.
And Michigan State, as we said, a season high, led by their all-around superstar, sophomore sensation, Leah Mitchell, a 39.1 to take the all-around title. Lena Weinstein, break down her highlights.
Wow, what an incredible day. She started out on vault. She's such an explosive vaulter. Went through to bars, huge bar releases, competes just like a senior, with enough elegance and poise to be a veteran leader on this team, and just had a really, really fantastic day. I'm really excited to see some big things from her this season.
Yeah, indeed, just a sophomore and elegant does tell the story. And Leah, first off, it's about the team. A season high for the Michigan State Spartans, led by your all-around performance. Talk about, from a team perspective, how it feels.
From a team perspective, I'd just like to say we've been talking about going out and having fun, being fearless and having faith in one another and ourselves, and just rely on our training. So from a team perspective, it was just a blast. We had a lot of fun, and we finally did what we needed to do as a team and stepped it up.
And Leah, as a sophomore, you compete like a senior with such elegance and confidence. How do you do it, and what are you thinking about before every meet?
Thank you. Before every meet, I always go down and I visualize every event, and then I just rely on my training because we do so many numbers in the gym, and when we go out to the floor, I just want to do what I do in practice and have fun while doing it, and just know to let my teammates know, my coaches know that I have their back.
Outstanding performance, the all-around winner today against Ohio State. Thanks so much for being with us, and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Leah.
Yeah, well done, Leah Mitchell. And we'll take a look at the final scores on the floor. You talked about it being their best rotation in a solid 49.125.
It really was, and that 1-2 punch with Ella and Leah at the end of the lineup, putting up those big scores. They had a really great start from Tristan and Sydney in the beginning of the lineup, and they just moved their way through the great momentum and positive energy that they had.
And Ohio State, again, we were told they were only going to go 5 after the scratch from Swartz and Truber. Makes sense. And, boy, not only did she step up because she had to from exhibition, but look at that 9.85 in that anchor position for Danica Avanto.
I hope she's in the lineup next week because that was a beautiful routine, huge score. She really was the MVP of this Beam lineup today and really saved the Buckeyes when they were looking for a win.
Yeah, and how about Meredith Paula-Civic on the fly? Of course, we were told they were only going to go with 5, but she made that switch, and they just keep on winning 3 in a row.
Well, they are hustling. I can tell that they are tired from being on the road every weekend since they started this season. They're probably excited about being home next weekend, but they fought. They really had that take-the-ball mentality. They were working, they were aggressive, and they were not going to take that loss today.
And certainly Mike Rowe's got to be happy with their season high. He liked what they did against Michigan, even better against Ohio State. That's it from East Lansing here, home to Michigan State, where Ohio State finishes with a 196 plus. Michigan State finishes with a season high of 195.225. And sophomore sensation Leah Mitchell is the all-around winner from Michigan State. Coming up next on BTN, it's Campus Eats. For our producer Jim Ressler, director Tom Blair, and our entire BTN crew, my All-America Alina Weinstein, I'm Dean Linke. So long from East Lansing.